changes in production, changes with innovation, changes with quality. What does all of that mean for prior releases? Is it a time to sell? Is it a time to buy? And when you see so many figures that are due to come out soon, or still in the distant future, with them going on waitlist now, does that help give us the clues to be able to answer these questions? Well, I tell you what, having some of this helps as well. Wizard juice, coffee from Sixth Scale Cantina, simply delicious. And this special potion right here, baby. Who even knows what this is? But let's go ahead and dive into all of this right now. And welcome everyone to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at the Sixth Scale Cantina. And just in case you don't know just who I am the Dark Jedi Aries Charrington, and I'm about to serve up all the Sixth Scale action figure talk. So please go ahead and smash that like button. I so do very much appreciate your support, baby. And hey, while you're at it, please also go ahead and subscribe to Sixth Scale Cantina. I do appreciate your support, but I think you'll appreciate even more that if you do subscribe, you'll be eligible for yet another giveaway, which is going to happen on November 20th, tomorrow as of this recording, on my live show, Sixth Scale Raw. It's every Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It goes from 8:30 p.m. Eastern until 10:15 p.m. Eastern. And sometime during that show, I'm going to be doing another Hot Toys giveaway. Congratulations to Mama Luigi and Defio Dome. And many of you know them. And both of them have already received 2 of my Hot Toys. I'm going to be giving away another tomorrow. Just make sure you are subscribed, because if you're not subscribed, then I'm going to have to scratch you off. Number 2, make sure you comment on the market show from 2 weeks ago. But Aries, how do I do that? It was like so long ago already. Well, just go right into this video description, and the link is right there, and that'll make it easy for you. Okay? You could also just go to my channel, which hopefully you're subscribed to now. And you can click on the last market show before this, and you can get it that way as well. Make sure you comment on it. You don't have to comment on it an exorbitant amount of times, because the program I'm going to use is only going to go ahead and recognize one of the comments. So just one comment. Again, make sure you're subbed, and make sure you are watching and present during Raw tomorrow night. Again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. There were a few that were drawn both times on both giveaways occasions that missed out because they weren't there. Make sure you're there. Be there or be square. But you have to wonder, should you comment on this video as well? And I say yes, because then you'll be eligible for the next giveaway the following week. So comment on this video, baby. My goodness gracious, it's Thanksgiving time. It's the holiday season. Hopefully giving back to you is putting a big smile on your face. Certainly recording and being back here is putting a big smile on mine. Now, getting into this episode. Big changes coming. Should you buy or sell? Look, you can see what's on the banner right here. Look at that new Ahsoka, which, look at that Iron Man right there with the separate rolling eyeballs function. Same thing with that Indiana Jones. These are next level. Let's go ahead and look. Let's take a look right now at what's going on in the secondary market in relation to this. In direct relation to this. So pulling this up onto the screen. And ladies and gentlemen, market update here. You know, this is the figure that was released this year. A Warner Brothers 100 exclusive release. The Gal Gadot Wonder Woman with the wool-rooted hair. Basically, this artisan version that was more dubbed Warner Brothers 100 for honoring that anniversary. But for all intents and purposes, your first artisan, your first prototype, if you will, of that. And you can see right here, just gone. Outstanding seller, 86 feedback. All 100% positive. $620, but not including the $50.80 in shipping. U.S. seller, not including taxes, well over $700 McDollars. Unbelievable. Let's go to one that's damaged, that had a broken arm and other broken pieces. And even though this was broken from another outstanding seller with 217 feedback, all 100% positive, it still went well over retail broken. Are you kidding me? For $450 McDollars, not including the $25 in shipping. Wow, over $500 for a broken, damaged Wonder Woman MMS 698. And this figure right here was limited to just 1,500. Just 1,500 pieces globally. And I'm lucky enough that I have this particular figure. If you look behind me, I guess this way, and I'm trying to point the finger right there. Almost follow the finger. There she is. I actually have this figure right here. And I can tell you right now, it is currently the highlight of my collection. If you didn't see my unboxing video and a couple of my shorts, you absolutely have to go check it out on my channel. She is absolutely unbelievable. The likeness is uncanny. The work that they did with the hair is simply unbelievable. You know, InArt came out with that new innovation with their Joker that is absolutely fabulous. And Hot Toys has answered with wool-rooted hair, you know, technology of their own. And boy, with both companies, it's absolutely fantastic. I could tell you, just having this Wonder Woman one, it is absolutely unbelievable. But so are a lot of the head sculpts and other things that are coming out, not only from InArt, but from Hot Toys. And not even just from both of them, but with companies like X06, Asmus. So many companies are stepping up their game. But when the game is stepped up, what does it do to releases that are a step below? And what does it also do if some of these releases, like this Wonder Woman, is of low production? And this is advertised low production, just 1,500 pieces. Again, low supply, as I've mentioned many times, equals high demand. And what Hot Toys is doing right now whether they're advertising it like this with 1,500 pieces, or they're just putting it on waitlist in conjunction with Sideshow, mega early, or what seems like to be mega early, it's giving the impression, it's telling the tale, it's actually just stating that it is rare and there's not very many of them. And again, that's a low supply. And what does low supply equal? What you're seeing on the screen with something that is damaged in a couple of ways. And even with figures that are old, that don't have new and improved versions out, or current new and improved technology anyway out, these new figures like that Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman are acting like this DX06 Jack Sparrow, and I am personally looking for this in particular figure to go into my collection. And you can see another outstanding seller here, one that I have and continue to buy from frequently, Hawk Wars Toys, Ray from Hawk Wars Toys, now 1,833 feedback, all 100% positive. Ray's an outstanding seller. Had great experiences with him. And you can see right here, best offer accepted at $525. Shoot. Even if you want to say, which is not typical of this seller that I'm aware of, that $50 was given off on a best offer, even at $475, that's what rarity in good condition. Sometimes you could find this figure, especially overseas, if you look hard enough, but you don't exactly know the condition that it's in. But you could see right here, there's low supply, especially of this figure in good condition, which equals high demand. And that's how that Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman is acting. That's also how many of these figures within the secondary market are acting when they go on waitlist early. Another figure I'll bring up here. Look at this Neo. And granted, this isn't a Grail yet by any stretch of the imagination, although there's a possibility that this could wind up being a Grail. But look at this from the same seller, Hawk Wars Toys. $310, best offer accepted, even if you want to say $20 off on that. $290, even if you want to say $30 off, which $280. That is still well above the retail price of what this went for. And this just came out, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see right here, the retail price is $250. But what's the difference? It's on waitlist. And it was on waitlist for a long time while it was up on pre-order. Pause. You're watching the Market Chart Show. Cheers. Happy holidays. Again, wonder what's in here. Simply delicious. It's definitely coffee of some kind from the Sixth Scale Cantina. But that's very, very telling. Again, low supply equals high demand. And even when you look at, let's go to some Star Wars here, and bringing up this same seller again, Hawk Wars Toys, you can see that with a regular Anakin from Revenge of the Sith. And last I checked, there's a couple of new Anakins that are, or at least that artisan one that's coming out. But $495, best offer accepted, even if you want to take $50 off of this. $445, let's just say. Wow. Even in this economy, even with the oversaturation of certain quantities of figures, at least at the current state of collecting, not just with Hot Toys, but in so many things, if you want to say $445, wow. Again, why? Because this is in low supply right now, which is basically you got to get it from a collector, which equals high demand. On the other token of this, and you could pull this up as well. And I'll pull this up onto the screen. And first, I'm just going to pull up the retail price of this particular figure, which is $275 for this Loki. Now, granted, there's a show going on, but that's the name of the game. There's a show going on right now, another season of Loki, but this figure is also one that very, very recently just came out this year, was on waitlist well before it came out, and you could look up on here, and 32 bids, another outstanding seller, with 129,974 feedback, $290. Are you kidding me? Wow. And look, why is this wow? Because the complete 180 of this is for figures that at some retailers are still in stock. Figures like this. And you can look at this listing here, also from Hawk Wars, and here's the other side of the token. Right now, at many places, you could still get Yelena, and just back from November 7th, $166. $166. 28 bids. 28 bids, but only willing to go so high. Wow. Not including the 26 in shipping, not including taxes. Wow. Pulling this up onto the screen. Here's another one. And this from another great seller with 29,591 feedback. All 100% positive. Here's a cap from Endgame. $185.50 with 52 bids. Just not willing to go a penny over $185.50 with this auction anyway. And new. It's new, ladies and gentlemen. And not including the $12.04 in shipping. And when you look at some of the retail prices on some of these right now at some places, you could see that that's well under the retail price. For sure. So, what does that data tell us? And I think it tells us a lot of things. What we've been talking about for a long time is there seems to be, from coming out of COVID, with certain releases, a large amount of production that transpired. And because of the economy, which is a very, very real situation, this economy, it's going to take years to rebound from this economy. Because just a couple of years ago, or really 2021 and 2022, we have experienced, just in the United States, the largest rate of inflation in 40 years. It was up past 5%. It normally should be at 2%. Yet you have other countries, okay, or other places, other areas of the world, like Europe and Russia, that have it or still are over 5% with a rate of inflation. And around the world, for most humans anyway, the rate of increase in income is not on par with the rate of inflation. And while now that there's moderation and it's starting to come down and average out a little bit and come back down, you're still playing catch up. You're still trying to catch up to where that was. And with it being over 3% here in the United States, that's still well over where it's suggested it should be at a 2% rate. And people just don't have enough expendable income yet to be able to dive full force like they were doing not too long ago, like even during COVID, with buying so many of these action figures. Not just action figures, other collectibles. Not just other collectibles, anything that requires expendable income. There's so many factors that go into it. And as situations level out, and as expendable income levels for a lot of people start increasing, then you're going to see a more steady and rapid growth in collectible hobbies such as this, which are going to make some of these figures that seem like no one's buying suddenly disappear and possibly be worth a good amount because there's more people at that point interested in them, A. B, more people are actually in the hobby, which obviously is a greater pool to pull from. Okay? And then C, Marvel keeps growing as an IP. Star Wars keeps growing as an IP. And why do I bring up Marvel and throw in DC? All three of these IPs continue to put out new content. Okay? And as new content continues to come out, unless they're duds, a lot of times the prior content starts getting a lot of hype, starts generating a lot of rekindled interest, which also then puts interest back into those older characters, into those older films, into those prior television shows, into the new seasons of those television shows, so on and so forth. And that's what I believe you're going to see and what you're seeing here and what is going on in this economy right now. Pause. You're watching the Market Chart Show. Let's go ahead and have some wizard juice. Delicious, delicious. So, when you take all of that and you combine that with new releases being done with so much seemingly less production, but with so much more innovation and improved quality, what does that mean for some of these older figures? Should we sell these now? For instance, should you go ahead and with this, let's bring this up. Let's bring up this Jack Sparrow, this DX06. Should you run and sell this? Because inevitably, Hot Toys is going to come out with a new and improved Jack Sparrow that may incorporate, let's say, wool-rooted hair, make it an artisan version of this particular figure. I mean, already this figure was dynamite. And I think to answer that question, honestly, it depends on the figure, and it depends on the type of release that it was. So for this particular figure, I'm going to be completely honest with you. because there's no solid answer that you could put forth for everything here. For this particular figure right here, in my personal opinion, I don't know how you can do much better than what you're looking at here, number one. What you could do is you could give it wool-rooted hair. It already has rolling eyes function, okay? And actually, I believe that this one is the PERS system, which some will argue is even better than the rolling eyes function. But even if you've, whatever you can add to this that can make it better, this is such a tremendous representation of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow that I don't know just how much you could improve on this. Whereas if you wanted to suggest that a new and improved version would tank this particular figure, my opinion on this DX06 is it will always be worth a good penny. It's a great release. And again, if you're into wool-rooted hair, that could be something that could be better. Maybe improve some of the materials that are already on here. But this is so good. I don't know how much better you could actually make this figure. Now, if you want to look at the DX15, which has some of hair in it, I don't like that hair on the DX15, which is why I don't even look for that one. I look for the DX06. Now, if they came out with a wool-rooted hair one, it may affect the DX15 more than this DX06. Nonetheless, again, this is one of those cases where I don't really know how much it would really affect this. This in particular figure, I could see continuing to go up, especially if you can maintain this in good condition, which will take you to, which means you're going to have a climate-controlled environment. You're going to have a humidifier or control humidity, so on and so forth, and you absolutely can take great care of this piece for many years, if not decades to come, if it's done right. Now, and also, you don't have. There were so many Pirates of the Caribbean movies and different versions that you don't necessarily have to repeat this exact version of Jack Sparrow as well. And that's another thing to keep in mind as well with this release and also the DX15. But now let's go ahead and take a look at another figure. Let's go ahead and bring up this Anakin. And we're already starting to come out with Anakins that have rolling eyes function, not only with the upcoming Attack of the Clones release, which is already on waitlist, but with the artisan version, which is interesting that there's not a sculpted hair version of the artisan version of Anakin, which in just my opinion is superior to this release, although this release and this figure is freaking amazing. It is an absolutely tremendous effort at a head sculpt of Hayden Christensen. Actually, it's absolutely unbelievable. And you're looking at it right here. But what happens to this figure right here when you take a look at the artisan version? And if they were to take that artisan version of that particular figure and actually come out with a rooted hair version, I mean a sculpted hair version of that, which I'm not exactly 100% convinced that they wouldn't do that, even though they didn't announce it yet. But you can look right here, and I'll try and pull this up onto the screen for you so you could take a look at it. This likeness is just so sick. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. And as these figures continue to improve, and if they were to offer this with a sculpted hair version, or maybe they'll give us a dark side version of this figure, perhaps from the Ahsoka series, perhaps still from the Obi-Wan series, and perhaps with not only a rooted option, but with sculpted hair. What does that do for collectors like me that think that this is improved over the prior version? Does it affect the value of those previous figures? And let's go ahead and take a look at this one. How many Iron Mans has Hot Toys put out, ladies and gentlemen? And you can look at this right here. There he is, Robert Downey Jr. And to me, I cannot wait to see what this figure comes out like. To me, this is absolutely unbelievable. And an Iron Man I want to get. But you know what's interesting about this Iron Man? It now has rolling eyes function, which is very different from a lot of the prior released Iron Man. So you're getting, again, improved head sculpts of Robert Downey Jr. And again, you can see the 2.0 listed below on this red banner right below my finger. How many now 2.0s? And they're actually calling it 2.0s of these prior released Iron Man figures, which are now more to spec for the 6th scale, dimensionally, height-wise. What does it do to those prior releases? And while it may tank some of these, on some of them, like the aforementioned DX06 Pirates of the Caribbean, I don't believe that it will. I think it'll be a unique case for each figure. And while you could bucket some of those figures into one particular, box of, okay, well, these are just awful and these are better, so those are going to go bad. You could do that. And then you have another box here, like, oh, yeah, but that Jack Sparrow is so good, and put this one in that box. You give your separate boxes and kind of put them where you're at. It's still going to be a different case for each figure. Some of them are going to have some intrinsic value. Okay? Like the DX07, Luke Skywalker. Interestingly with that, even with what I feel, and I have them both, is a far superior DX25 Luke. I love that DX07. I actually, I'm not going to sell it. It's definitely not as good as the DX25, but it's still quite good. And that has intrinsic value in the fact that that was the first ever Star Wars Hot Toys release. And also with that set is that awesome weather vane diorama and some other things that it comes with that, to me, is just very collectible. And while it's not going for the $700-800 it was, and even more, $900 to $1,000 if it was in super good maintained condition, and even if you could find the magnetic pieces on the holsters still working or repaired properly, that set's still going for $400 or $500. Why? Because it has intrinsic value. And you do have to wonder, does Hot Toys, to some degree, have some intrinsic value, novelty value, historic value that we're going to be able to see evidence of in the years to come? And I say yes. With some of them. And with some of them, just like the prior release Jarrell, which is a pretty good Russell Crowe head sculpt, at least at this point, not so much. At least at the moment. So, should you run and buy? Should you run and sell? It all depends on you. For me, and looking at the market and seeing what's going on here and the data I give you week after week, I don't sense any reason to go ahead and run out of this hobby whatsoever. You know, I ran out of the Black Series, for instance, one of the lines that I collected from Hasbro, because I didn't like where the line was going and how much it was forcing me to buy, but that was because I had the wrong mindset, and it's very hard to get out of that mindset with that particular type of collectible, but it just wasn't for me. And many other collectors have done or did do the same thing. Yet other collectors will dive into that. I also break out of other collections, and I have in the past, where I know that the value is just going to tank, and it's like throwing money away. It's like burning money. Which, again, and I understand, I've heard how many content creators and, you know, people tell me, oh, well, I collect it and I don't care about the value. I get the premise of the feeling. But nobody likes to go ahead and just take dollar bills and burn them. Okay? You want to know, basically, whether you're buying something of value for your significant other, something for your children, a car, a house, any type of item, that it's going to hold its value, or you at least want to know how much the depreciation is. You don't want everything that you buy, and these things being hundreds of dollars, just being worth nothing. It's not really how the human mind or the human spirit works. You want to be able to track that value anyway. And I don't see anything here that's glaring or sticking out to me, except with some of these figures that there is seemingly so much production of. But I'm not even concerned about those, because I believe at the end of the day, as time goes on and more people come into this hobby, that there is a great opportunity for some of these figures in the years to come to become more and more rare through age, through deterioration, through availability, through new collectors coming in, that would make them less available, lower supply available, which can equal higher demand. And I believe that there's somewhere that's just going to take too long for that to ever happen, and it's what it is. But honestly, there's vintage stuff, Star Wars, G.I. Joe, anything that are not as big or not as, you know, worth as much as some of the other pieces. And just like there's some Black Series, going back to them, or vintage collection pieces that aren't as rare or as sought after, or kind of like, anyone could get those type of pieces, and even some of them that you can just get on discount. And I think that that's okay. And I think this is a very unique time for Hot Toys and for Sixth Scale Collectibles in this regard, because there's changes being made and more that are coming. What are these changes that are being made? How does this tie in? Well, let's go ahead and go look at it right now. Speaking of this Iron Man right here, you could see that it's on waitlist. And it hasn't even come out yet. Let's go to more. Here's a figure that was just announced this year. And I don't believe the rest of the line is out yet. In fact, it's not, because they teased more of it. But Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is already on waitlist. Wow. Let's go to more. And pulling this up onto the screen, this regular collector edition of this incredibly awesome frickin' Batman, really? Already on waitlist for Batman. Wow. Due out next year in April. Or September. Through September. You're seeing some of these changes that are already taking place. Let's go to some more. You could look at this here up on the screen. And here is the Spider-Man new red and blue suit of Tom Holland. Already on waitlist. Wow. Coming out first half of next year. Going back to the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Waitlist. Already with Groot. Groot's already waitlisted. Wow. And these are just some of the changes that we've been seeing all year, and some of the changes that we're starting to see evolve a little bit, go on waitlist even quicker. Some of these anyway. Remember when this was just announced? When it was just March or April? I don't even remember, but gone now. This mech tech or whatever this is. Transformer-like Black Panther. It looks pretty super cool. Already on waitlist. I feel like it was just yesterday. I was in the theater watching The Flash. And already the collector edition is gone of this particular figure. Wow. Wow. Already gone. You have to wonder how long until the one with the long hair goes out. How much time you think you got on that particular figure? And you look at some of these other figures here, like even Miles Morales, and I felt like this just was announced, but maybe I'm crazy, but already waitlisted on the collector edition, and not due out until July to December of next year. But I believe the special edition is actually not. Special edition is not available. The whole darn thing's gone already of Miles Morales. Why? Again, from what I was just showing you, this is an adjustment being made. So that is gone. How about Nebula? And what I'm showing you here, a vast amount. She's gone. And she ain't coming out till July to December. I mean, this may not come out in a year. It's already on a wait list. You can't even get any more of them. And she's gone. Wow. And even with this collector edition of the IG-12, which is probably a really smart move, since I think you can still get IG-11, but you can't get IG-12 anymore with this. Wow. And some of the things I'm showing you there is big changes that have been made from the point and points I was trying to show you throughout this show on adjustments that are being made for this economy. And I think we're in a unique space and time with certain figures that you can get on a discount from time to time, or that you can get discounted within the secondary market as well. And is it a good time to buy those figures if they're on discount? I say yes, because again, I think a lot of them can be worth money in the future. And don't think that every one of them just have so many. Some of them are just characters that right now people are choosing not to buy, or iterations of characters that collectors are choosing not to buy because there's so much going on, and there's actually less of it than you think. And then when these new shows come out, and then when these new movies come out, And then again, as aforementioned, as deterioration or space and time continue to move on, is it possible that even some of those could be grails that we don't even know about? And I say, yes, it's possible. But it's also possible you're going to get some Jarrells mixed in there. It's the same story that it's been in a way. The difference is, the big difference to me, is that many of these that are going to be coming out, like this Iron Man on the banner, like that Indiana Jones, like this Ahsoka the White, they may be super duper duper rare. And when you're seeing like that aforementioned Warner Brothers 100 Wonder Woman going for the price that she is, and some of these other figures, and just because they advertise her at $1,500, don't assume that the third sister Reva is necessarily more than the $1,500 that was produced for that Wonder Woman, or necessarily more than the $2,500 that was produced with the Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch artisan figure, or necessarily more than 3,500 or 4,000 Anakins, whatever it was, 3,300, I'm forgetting, 3,000, whatever it was, or 4,000 artisan wool-rooted hair Jokers. Don't automatically assume that there's 4,000 or more than 4,000 third sisters, or more than 4,000 Gores, or more than 4,000 Mighty Thors. Because it's possible that there's actually not, even though they did not tell you. Look at this right here, baby. I know I've been promising this for a while. Now the content's going to be coming on for all you members, and for those that want to join my channel, I appreciate the support. As promised, Drunk on Coffee coming out here this week especially. I'm going to be talking about why I believe very soon another Anakin Skywalker and with wool-rooted hair is coming from Hot Toys. You don't want to miss that. Also, why we're going to be getting a Poe Dameron and Baze Malbus as well from Hot Toys. You don't want to miss that. And also why. Also why we're going to be getting a Ra's al Ghul, and why we would be getting a Lucius Fox from Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. You have to wonder just how invested is Hot Toys in the licensing for that franchise. Don't think that both of those characters coming out, especially with the low production quantities that are coming, that it's impossible for those to get officially announced from Hot Toys. Never doubt the Hot Toys wizard. All you got to do, besides believe, click on the little join button, see everything that it comes with, the Dark Jedi and the Hot Toys wizard for that matter. Appreciate your support. Joining the channel, is it cheaper than a dozen eggs in many places and a gallon of gas in most places? And I say, Mick, yes. For sure. Again, don't forget tomorrow, there's the banner for Sixth Scale Raw. And what you gonna do with the Dark Jedi? Go 6 Scale Raw on you. Hot Toys Talk 2023's final stretch. It's going to be November 20th tomorrow. What are we going to see from November 20th all the way to New Year's Eve from Hot Toys? Are we going to see any 40th anniversary figures? Are we going to see any Star Wars artisan figures? Are we going to get 1, 2, or 3 more Iron Mans? Are we going to get 1, 2, or 3 more Spider-Mans? Are we going to get 1 or 2 more Christian Bale Batmans? What exactly are we going to get You're not going to want to miss it tomorrow. Plus the giveaway, baby. Again, comment on the video in this video link for the giveaway tomorrow. Comment on this in particular video for the giveaway next week after Thanksgiving. That's all I got. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out, but when I do, I buy it right here at Sixth Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Questions matter.